Hello and good evening. Welcome back to another iteration of ESA Cup. We're now up to, I believe we're up to week day 4 now. If I remember right. Oh, sorry, play week 4 is what we're up to. And day 3 of this particular week. 3 games for you this evening. I have MSXV, which I will not be saying a lot because it is quite a mouthful to say, versus One Punch. That is starting just now. It was due to start just at 8 o'clock. There's a little bit of a delay, so apologies for that, but it's due to start just in a second. And then the second game is Yod Esports versus Evo 5. And then the final game for this evening is Minions versus Revolut. Now, you can see the times just in front of you at the minute, starting at 8 Central Eastern Time. The second game at 9:15 Central Eastern Time, and then the last one is them 10:30 Central Eastern Time. Of course, those are subject to change depending on if games run longer or shorter or whatever kind of works out. But we will get cracking with the first game because we now have all of the players in the lobby, and we'll have a look at the map band and see where we're going to be going and what map it is that we will be going to see this first game on. Now, map band's already been done. They were just done 2 minutes ago. First map we're going to go to is Villa, and that is going to be seeing the attacking side of MS as well, and of course the defending side here for One Punch. Now, we will get cracking just because we have everybody set up, ready to go. Now, it's just me that's casting tonight on all my lonesome, and I'm also doing production and spectating and whatnot, so there's a lot of moving parts, so apologies if I seem a little bit distant sometimes. I just need to do a couple of things in the background while things are getting moving. But we're going to head to Villa just now, and we'll get the game started, we'll get everybody into the map, and we'll get everything going, and we'll have a look and see what we can get sorted and see what we've got to enjoy tonight. But like I say, we are heading to Villa, and it is the beautiful Tuscan outback that we're heading out to see what we can conjure up for this evening and this first matchup. Now, first match is MSXV. The long name is Maniac Suiciders XV. It's a very long name, but I'll just use MS as the shorthand for that. Versus One Punch. That's the two teams you'll be seeing. Starting on attack, you've got MS, and then you've got One Punch on the defense, and we're just seeing the bands just come in just now. And like I say, it is Villa, so take your pick what you think. If it's going to be if it's, they've got the prediction in the chat. Fire those channel points in and see if you can make some channel points with it. Now, first couple of bands are ringing out, and it looks as though we're going to see some interesting bands. Starting off with the Decay ban. She's seen quite a rise in popularity over the last kind of couple of weeks, especially with SI, getting played quite a lot there, and she just seems to be picking up a lot more. It's just obviously to make people squirm a little bit throughout the map when the phone goes off and whatnot. It just brings out an extra bit of uneasiness for the defenders that are moving around the map, that they could potentially be caught out at any time. You've then got the Not Getting Manned away. I'm not surprised to see her go as well. Again, she's picking up in the pick rate, it's increasing. It's just a wonderful way the Knock plays, of course, hiding from the cams. The FMG9 with the extended barrel now is a heavy hitter, so not surprised to see them go for that sheer aggression. And it could be a counter ban, but it's more likely just an operator they just don't want to have to deal with. They don't have to worry about people sneaking up backstairs or anything like that behind and getting in behind. You've also got Thunderbird as well, and then the Oryx to round out the ban phase. Now, Thunderbird is a more of a specific ban. Someone, has probably maybe potentially got a... I do apologise, we've just lost someone, so I don't know if I hit the pause timer just in time, but we've lost someone in this thing. I think I just made it, so we'll see. I believe I did, so I've just managed to salvage that. I will very quickly go. I may have to rehost this lobby. Apologies for the further delay. I will be back just shortly while I get this resolved for you, so we'll be back in a moment. And we're back. Apologies for a slight delay again there. Just lost a player for a moment. Just some connection issues. We just had to reset some things. So we are now back in the lobby and we can now get cracking with this. Not missed anything. We resumed exactly where we left off. Exactly the same picks pretty much. Everyone, no one changed. It's just the same idea. I just happened to catch the pause in time before we lost the ability to do that. So thankfully I was able to do that. And we're getting ready to go. First site, of course, is going to be Aviator and Games. It usually is the first pick. It's either this one or Trophy. Those are the two main sites that you usually see on Villa. Those are pretty much what people want to go for in terms of the rotation. They rotate between these two until they win either or. And it's not just, again, a surprising thing to see them start on this particular site. One punch of the ones that are getting us kicked off on the defense, and it looks like we're getting an early spawn peak, though there is a drone to come around there, and it will find the information onto ESA, who's inside of Art Studio. That information's now probably being passed on to the rest of the team as they are now descending in towards that Art Studio area and the main lobby door. Now ESA has to be careful here because Fort Ghost is just outside there. They're bringing in the drones just to make sure they can get the correct information, but it's let me just check if we pronounce that name. Verio? I'll go with Verio is what we'll go with. I'll say it in Italian as well because we're on an Italian map here, but ESA getting onto the doorway doesn't actually land any of the shots, so the nade is cooked, sent through, and look at that! Beautifully done there from Fort Ghost, who just decides to keep persevering with that nade, and instead of getting the gun up and trying to take the engagement, instead just goes, you know what, I've already cooked this nade, I'm just going to try and release it, and does get it down onto ESA. But I don't think they're aware of that information, or at least they're a little bit hesitant to go in there and get the kill finished off, which eventually does happen. But the drop comes through, Dominus drops down through the hatch, and Kapari is ready for it, gets the double, the finish coming through at the same time when the player that was already down, and the push come up the red stairs. Verio. I keep going to say Verox, keep remember there's an I in there, but Verio is able to get up the red stairs, gets himself one, but isn't aware of the fact that there's a Jaeger about to be swinging onto them. Schnitzel is the one that is about to do that at the top of the classical hallway, gets the freebie, shoots him in the back. One pick was found there on the other side. It's shocked to find another one, and it's a 2 versus 3 situation, but the information will have been fed out to the remaining members of the attackers of MS that Schnitzel was at the top of that red staircase. But the swing comes again from Schnitzel. Again, he's gonna get himself a freebie here, but the Nomad is just stopping him from getting up onto the doorway too much. Can't quite go through and get the swing, but it's actually Lazy Perfect that's able to come out on top though. Almost gets the double, but Shock's there to finish him off, and is down to about 10 HP. Doesn't know there's one on the staircase, and is actually going to fall foul to this if they are not able to land the shots though. Pre-fire goes out though, but doesn't land any shots. Pulls back now in towards Study now, but they're back. Kapari though is inside a vault, and also just come through the timing there, saving the life of Shock, as he's now seeing himself rotating up towards the top of that main stairs area. Fort Ghost and Kapari now is trying to double up to get this kill. The final pick needs to be found, and they have 40 seconds left on the clock though, but the drone comes through, and surely Shock knows that, and the swing will come out onto Fort Ghost, but nope, it's Kapari to finish it off. Gets the triple on the round from final pick there, just coming through from Games. You see the long angle pops through the rotate and gets that final shot onto the mute, and that will be that for that round. The first round going towards the attacking side of MS. Now, I do apologise if I am not as talkative in between rounds and stuff. That's just purely because there is 3 games for me to cast tonight, and I'm on my own, so I have quite a bit of talking to do. So I'm trying to save my voice a little bit at least, so I don't actually end up losing it in the middle of the cast, because we wouldn't like that. I've also forgotten water as well, so I'm not even going to have anything to drink while I'm here, so I need to get that pronto. Tactical timeout though came out from a 1 punch there, and I'm not sure if that's actually part of the tactics, and they're actually going to be discussing that, or if that's still linking up with the issue they had in the previous round and they were trying to fix. They'll try to fix something in the background. If it is to do with the tactics of it, it's maybe just to rediscuss what actually went wrong in that round and how they fell foul to the attack of MS. They're going back to the same site though. They've changed a couple of things. They're bringing along the cap cannon this time to see if they can slow down these attackers as they move through the map. The castle coming along for the ride now in the hands of ESA, and that will at least provide some coverage inside the site or wherever they decide to place these barricades. Legion 2, of course, another trap operator that's been brought along just to make sure that they're doubling down on this slow down kind of I guess you could call it a slowing down, a delay tactic, I guess, if that's what you want to utilise to kind of describe what kind of setup they're going for, just to slow down the attackers, because it was quick. They did enter the map quickly. Although, it was more so the failed roam game that happened. There was a couple of players picked from below that were shut down quite easily, so it wasn't the greatest start from One Punch there. Now, hopefully they've made those amendments, then they will be able to get themselves into a bit better form. Avian here going for a little spawn peek here, though. It'll be Verio that will be falling towards that, though, but it doesn't actually decide to go as far as the window at the bottom of the red staircase. Just goes on to the drone, make sure that Art is droned out, no one's hanging around inside the piano area, and it's Furtghost that's on that drone, looking for the information to guide Verio in towards their target. Kapari's on the other side, going for the pinch from the other side, inside the living. Looks as though that is the take. Nade gets cooked from below, and look at the damage done on the Acer. It opens up the hatch at the same time. That's Kapari that's setting that up through there. That was delivered perfectly on target. Doesn't quite get the kill, but Acer's going to have to think about any engagement to take further on, because one bullet, you could so much as sneeze on him and take the pick there. Schnitzel, though, gets the scoreboard up and running, finds the first kill onto Furtghost at the bottom of that main staircase. Just drops down, pops the head off of the Ayana just as they were cooking the nade. Doesn't get away with it this time. Furtghost not able to send the nade to its desired recipient. It's just still holding this long angle, has the 1.5 in hand, just holding on to that breach that is opened up quite significantly. Moritz takes a little bit of damage from the peppered shots coming out from Domhertz, who's just swung out front of the door in the Aviator there and just shot a couple of bullets towards the balcony area. Flashbangs come singing in now, and that will at least get the Capcan of Domhertz to move around a little bit and start to think about what their next move is going to be. Mutejammer dealt with at the top of the Classical Hall stairways, but look at this angle here. Doesn't quite see the player, though. Eventually, Schnitzel, though, is taking quite significant damage. And look at the HP across the board for One Punch, and eventually Schnitzel does get taken off the board. Verio is able to get that kill and proning up the hallway to get themselves up to this angle to make sure they have an angle onto that vault area. Now, Avian going for the flank, coming up the main stairs, and is the IQ going to be aware of this? Verio, though, I don't think he is, but now the gun, though, does go off and gives away their position. Shoots just at the wrong time. Verio was aware of it now, and it's a 1 versus 3 situation for Shock, who's sitting behind the bar, sends out a C4, finds the body of Verio, and now it's looking a little bit better than it was in a 1 versus 3 situation a moment ago before that C4 found its destination in front of Verio's feet. Now, diffuser going down. Shock, though, has to make a move now, and I don't think they're aware of the fact that there is one inside the vault. Kapari's the one that's holding the patience game here. Finds out with the 1.5, doesn't know where the player is, so some damage done on the Shock. Once Kapari shuts out the round, gets the final pick again for the second time, and now we head into the third round with MS leading the charge with 2 rounds in a row. Like I said, I won't be chatting too much between the rounds just because I've got 3 hours of casting ahead of me. And I want to save my voice a little bit. I'm also, I think I'm a little bit under the weather. I'm not 100% sure. I kind of feel like there's something lingering. I'm about to get ill, I feel like. And my voice feels like it could go at any time. So I'm hoping that that is not the case. Because we have a busy weekend. Lots of shouting to be done like video games. But for now, we'll shout at this game. An interesting shield being placed here. Is almost sideways getting placed down there from Ace. I don't think he's quite placing the correct way they want to do it. They're looking to place that shield that is usually placed on that bedroom door. It's pretty much always there. There's usually a shield there. Pick your poison when it comes to the operator that actually comes in for that. It's just any operator shield that usually comes on. The half wall opened up, of course, just in towards that bedroom area to stop anyone from hopping in, and also to hold that long angle all the way through to the closet. And it looks like we will see a little bit of a closet hold here from the Frost of Acer. Frost, of course, seen quite an uptake over the recent years in the comp scene and all throughout Pro League and whatnot as well. So, not surprised to see her. Years ago, yeah, you just wouldn't have seen Frost anywhere near a lineup, and it's just she's in a good place with that 1.5. The gun's pretty good, extended barrel as well, and the shield makes all the difference when you want to bring that. The attackers, though, of MS will get us it started on the bottom floor. Verio and Furt Ghost heading in towards that laundry area. Capari on the rappel, just getting himself up. And look at that, their head is found just as we flick on it. And of course, the overlay does actually freeze when that happens, when you pick someone who dies. And it was Domhertz on the Legion that was able to find that through the drone hole, sees the head of Capari and just deletes them straight out of the round. There's some pepper shots coming out from the bathroom there, from the Legion, still sending some shots to try and find anyone in the window. But look at this nade that's going to be signed and sent and delivered and not actually finding anyone. Oh, and I do apologise for picked up the wrong person there. Very on the bottom floor. 3 versus 5. Domhertz is going to find another one. This time it's Furt Ghost that falls to the Legion of Domhertz inside of bathroom, who's given a life game inside of here, and it looks as though they are remaining calm inside of the bathroom, waiting for the inevitable push to come through from the attackers, who are just doubling up, whatnot, and they are starting to get in, pushing through. Shock takes quite a bit of damage though, who's after just trying to join the party a little bit there. ESA though finds another one onto Moritz this time, and now it's looking like One Punch might collect their first round. Lazy Perfect outside, Verio pushing up the staircase, and are they aware of this information? Or some impact needs to go down, and look at the hole that's been opened up, some damage done onto Verio, and the Legion is starting to feel a little bit hungry. Domhertz is looking for another kill, doesn't actually quite know where Lazy Perfect is playing, which window they're playing off of though, but it's ESA to find that kill, spots them on the closet window, eventually gets that one locked and sealed. Now it's a 1 versus 5 situation for Verio, and this is likely just going to be treated as a very quick timeout. Probably just going to be chatting in the comms, just making sure everything's right. But look at the angle it's been held there by Shock though. It's a flawless round. What a response to come out from One Punch, as they're able to fight right back after 2 rounds of pretty much nothing. They weren't doing too well in the first couple of rounds, but now they've got a round on the board, flawless, pretty good stuff. So they're going to be getting started up, hopefully, on this map of Villa.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can. Attackers have located a bomb. Activating jammer. 10 seconds to go. Loading mag. 5 seconds left. Jammer ready to enter. You can stop worrying about grenades now. Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
So now we head down to the bottom floor this time. Of course, we've seen the 2 sites, one in the top floor. We've seen both in Aviator 1, and we've also seen... Sorry, we've not seen anyone's on defense actually. I'd apologise for that, but we've seen one win on the trophy side. They're not opting to go back to Aviator. They've tried it twice and lost twice, so they're going to have to change things up, and that is exactly what they're going to do. They head down to the bottom floor inside of that laundry area and dining. Can't ever remember the name of that room ever in my life. Kitchen dining is what we're looking for though. But Furt Ghost is going to open up the score here onto Acer. Finds the first pick now. It's 5 versus 3. Moritz finds another one on Avi, and it looks as though the aggression has came out early on. Furt Ghost is inside of statue already. Pushes came straight through into bedroom, and they've cleared all the way through. They now have the top floor control. They've reduced the defenders down to 3 members, and things aren't looking too great. After One Punch were able to pick up the last round, they're not able to keep that momentum all the way through. And Moritz is going to find another one, and this time on Shocks is the one to go. Domhertz is also left in a sticky situation inside the back hallway. One's coming down behind them, and he's going to get one on the board. No, Verio though is aware of the fact it could be on that doorway. Doesn't know where the Jaeger is, and it actually does. Lands his shot, the double for Verio to close it out. Flawless round as a response from MS. One Punch got one just before, and they trade straight back on the flawless, and 3-1 is now the score. Now we'll likely have to see some changes coming out there, because we're going to have to see something from One Punch, because didn't look great there, and I think that was actually more of the roam game. So that's twice at least that they've tried to play this roam game and it's not worked out. They tried it on Aviator, they tried that bottom floor roam, didn't work. They lost 2 players early. They tried it again just now with the kitchen and dining defense. They tried to roam upstairs and hold on to that, and they were dealt with swiftly. 2 players dealt with within 40 seconds of the round starting. So they need to, I think at this point, if it was me, I think that I would be just kind of saying to myself, look, it's actually the roam that's letting us down. We're not quite able to land these shots. We're kind of wasting players, throwing players at this aggression here. It's not quite working here. So I think that a couple of turtle shots I think should come out. But we'll certainly have a look at what the setup is going to look like.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it. AD is active in this sector. I'm reloading. Activating jammer.
Early wee cheeky spawn peek attempt there from Domart, though doesn't land anything, just pulls back to his site. Kapari now on the drones to get the information gathered for the rest of their teammates as Moritz now rotates around to bring in that support in the Nomad. Look at this though, look at just holding on to the main entrance door. Acer's just standing, just waiting for someone to melee that open, waiting for someone to be close. Schnitzel on the staircase behind them. Verio's already inside the map here, so Acer will be imminently engaged in a moment as they head through library. Kapari's on the pinch as well, but the drone does come out though. Kapari has the information there is one inside of the library area, but Acer's on the return angle, waiting for the angle to be found and waiting for someone to see it. But look at the peppering coming in from Kapari that eventually does get guided through that wall and into the skull of Acer. Great stuff. The nade is now cooked. That'll be sent up towards 90, but there's no one inside 90 now. Domhurst though is able to move out of that situation just before the nade came through, and we'll now have the information that there is a player down below, but instead it goes back to the same place. So Furtglow takes quite a bit of damage now as Moritz gets aggressive all the way up towards Study, towards the Aviator door, pushing up now just to see if they can get himself a freebie. Almost gets the free onto Shock, who's rotating towards the barrier. Verio though gets another one, and it's Avian to fall this time, and it's a 2 versus 5 situation. Domers inside the vault though knows there's a player to push onto him. It's the Nomad that's swinging towards, though it doesn't quite land the shots. Moritz brings the aggression and finishes off the player, and the final one goes to Lazy Perfect. Another flawless round. That's 3 in a row, 2 in a row for MS on the attack there. Pushes all the way in towards Bar and gets the final pick, and that is 4 rounds to the 1 of One Punch.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can. Jammer ready. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds to go.
So currently 4-1 as we head into the 6th round, which will of course be the final round of this first half, and that will result in the end of the attack for MS as they will head on to their defense after this. So they'll be happy with a 4-1 so far. 4-2 split wouldn't be too bad, and definitely be eyeing up that 5-1 split moving on to their defense. With defense, I think is, in my opinion, I think it's still defender-sided Villa for at least at this level. The thing is the attacks are, a good attacking team will always show up any team that's on defense, because all you need to be a good attacking team is just great cohesion, the drones and whatnot to be brought out. And as soon as you have that, people aren't prepared for it. It doesn't matter what defense it is, a lot of people just aren't prepared for our team to be decent at attacking. And if you're semi-competent at the attacks, a lot of people don't expect you to be good at it. So you end up basically steamrolling opponents, and this is how situations like this happens, where attackers take 4 rounds on a map that I would argue is pretty balanced for Villa. Some would argue either or, but I think it's pretty balanced. But I still think the Siege is still overall defender sided, because you don't actually ever have to do anything. a lot of early pressure here though. Look at this, inside a minute they've got the clear all the way through. They have the control inside the bedroom. The walls now opened up. 2 members have fallen. It's Domhurst and Schnitzel that have fallen. No, but Verio's going to find the one back onto Acer as well. So the Avian's going to find one back onto Moritzor, but a pistol comes out in hand. Lazy Perfect's going to find Shock, and it's Avian left in a 1 versus 4 situation. It's all just collapsed here for the side of One Punch, and looks as though we're going to see a steamroll in the first half here. 5-1 is looking like it's going to be more than likely though that the DMR are not going to land its shots on the second one. Kapari falls, but Lazy Perfect finishes off Avian, and that is 5-1 on the first half. Now, like I was saying, when you get two teams that are this like similar in skill level, similar attack and similar defense, and that's when you can, that's when the map comes into play, and you'll see people having, you see maps that are attacker sided will be attacker sided, and maps that are defender sided will be defender sided. I think Villa's overall pretty balanced, but I think when it comes to skill level wise, 9 times out of 10 it's more leans more to defender sided, because to be a good attacking team you need a bit more to do it. You need to be, like I said before, you need to have good cohesion, you need to have good comms and good drones, and there's just a bit more moving parts that require a team to be good at attacking. So even on attacker sided maps that are generally historically attacker sided within comp, within higher rank levels, there can still end up being defender sided, because you still need to be good at attack to do it. You still need to have that thing, even though the map's attacker sided, you still need to have those basics ticked. And so far MS have done that really effectively, and teams like One Punch just haven't been able to keep up with it. Now, if I remember rightly, this is actually the first one or One Punch have played, I think, if I remember rightly. No, I don't think there's any spawn peaks except from Fort Ghost, who is definitely on spawn peak. Just now waiting for someone to come through from that other side. Not going to find anyone. No, now moves across to Art. This is a bit of a funny angle to be holding. No, I don't think that there's... Oh, he's actually going to get himself a freebie. Look at that, just to be popped off, of course. Just we go to see where everybody is. Of course, Acer is the one to fall there in the first spawn peak of the game. It's going to be found, and it's One Punch to fall, who don't get their attack started off in quite the form that they wanted to. Furtgo still going for the rotate round towards the red staircase area. There is only one member for One Punch that's on the south side of the map, on the upside down rappel. It is Shock with the 8. The clear came all the way through for bedroom side though. This is generally where attackers want to come from. 4 versus 4 though, as Shock is able to find Moritz. So on the upside down rappel, is able to get himself a freebie, and towards the site area though, Verio will play 90, has the Echo Drone in hand, and knows that these players are becoming along the castle hallway, just waiting for the stun capability to be utilised. Schnitzel and Dommerts are the ones that are doubling up here now. The ping comes up as Furtgos gets up to the top of the staircase, lands a couple of shots onto Schnitzel, who came out and just showed a little bit too much body top of that red staircase. Kapari though finds one onto Shock this time, and things are looking like it's going to be an MS round here. Furtgos though finds Schnitzel on the rotate. Lazy Perfect at the same time finds Domhurst though, but Avian's down below to get the refrag immediately onto Furtgos, and the call will come out that the player down below. Look at all the players flooding downstairs to find them, but accidentally melees. Verio though gets the freebie onto Avian, and that is now 6-1. Match point. Quick, early, and it looks as though MS are not here to mess around. They are here to just go in and out and get this finished inside the hour.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Peace will protect us. Perimeter.
Deploying mobile cover.
Unrolling razor wire.
New camera feed up and running.
Stop worrying about grenades now.
Deploying welcome net.
Now I suspect that this is going to be a pretty clear-cut result, to be honest. I don't have any doubt that MS will just finish this off, to be honest. And like I say, I do apologise for not being the most upbeat in terms of the casting tonight. I know that I do usually shout and scream and get some power flowing, but I'm not feeling too great, so I thought I'd at least bring you coverage of the game, but like I say, it won't be as exciting as what it usually is.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Apologise for the noise outside if my mic is picking it up. Just a motorbike going by. I'm just trying to find the group information for these teams, so if you bear with me, I'll tell you exactly how this plays out. But I'll tell you afterwards, just because Verio's about to get himself into an open engagement here as the Lion gets up onto the window, upside down rappel. Verio's just waiting for the drones to come in, gets him into a little bit of a better position for that swing potentially to come out from Domhertz as they go into that window though. And I don't actually know what the game plan is here from Domhertz. The site is upstairs, it's Trophy. I think they're just peppering in some of these shots just to make them aware that there are going to be in that vicinity, and they are going to be clearing through that area. Lazy Perfect's downside with Verio as well. Domhertz is going to get the first pick. That's Furt Ghost dropped and dead inside of the bathroom. It pops upstairs and gets himself a kill. Schnitzel comes up the staircase, so sees the feet go past the door, but Lazy Perfect is able to escape without so much as a scratch all the way back to site 4-4. No, Lazy Perfect pops back up the staircase and gets Domhertz there, but there's immediately taken off the board as there's a claymore to be found, and Moritz finds Acer, who hopped in the window and fell to that frost trap. Schnitzel coming up the staircase, so will be swung on from the player at the top of the stairs to Thorn to get the shots off, and that's Kapari to find himself another kill on this round as it's a 3-round situation. Avian left with the hopes and dreams of one punch on the round, and look at the swing again is going to come out from Kapari at the top of the staircase, knows that there's a player at the bottom, knows exactly where the positioning of Avian is, goes for the rotate round, and now we'll start to see the flood come through from MS, and I believe someone's going to drop. Yes, the three of them will drop at the same time. Kapari gets the final pick using the Thorn. They all dropped exactly at the same time and got themselves that final shot off. Now, a very simple game, for it seems, for MS, who were able to take that 7-1 with one flawless round that came out from one punch, but not enough to do anything else. That is it from that game. That's everything. That's all done. It's 7-1. Quick, clean, done, just like that, as if we were never even here. But yeah, 7-1. Pretty conclusive stuff. Now, in terms of the groups, I'll run over that very quickly before we move into the next game. In terms of the next game, it is due to start in 35 minutes, so I can only apologise for the length of the time that will be between the game, because it's very unlikely we'll be able to pull it forward. We'll try, certainly, see if we can get it a little bit earlier, but obviously, you're not expecting games to be that over so quick. But anyway, MSXV are able to take that 7-1. In terms of the groups, that doesn't change anything for One Punch, who at this point already had 0 points. So they are, if the maths is right, well, I mean, I'm just looking at this, and mathematically, they still technically could qualify, because if they win every other game, they're not completely out of it, so it's still possible. But they are still part of the group. They've got 0 points. They've got 4 losses, so they don't have anything at all. Whereas Maniac Suiciders, or just MS as we were referring to them tonight, they now move on to 7 points after picking up the first one. And yeah, they're moving toward... They're still in 4th position, so the position doesn't change. The other 2 members in this group, Revolut and Votum, are on 9, and then you've got Minions at the top on 9 as well. So it's just the difference in the rounds that's changing those 3. Now, in terms of the games tonight, we still have another 2 games after this to go, and we've got Yod Esports versus Evo 5, and we've got Minions versus Revolut. So Minions and Revolut, they're the top 2 teams at the minute. They've both won 3 games in a row, so they've won all of them. They've got all points that they could potentially get. They're on 9 points at the moment, so that'll decide places. That'll be a higher stakes game than what we've just seen in terms of a higher achieving team versus a lower achieving team. You know, of course, that's why you end up with results like 7-1. So hopefully the next game will be a bit closer. Then rounding out the evening, you've got Minions versus... you've got in the middle of this game they've just finished, and one at the end, you've got Yod versus Evo 5. Now, Evo 5 are sitting in 5th place, they're on 3 points, and Yod are on 2 points. So, Yod haven't got off to a great start, to be honest. They're a bit lower than what we would expect from them. But this is probably they're going to make a break point for both these teams. This is where they want to break into that top 4 situation. So there's a bit higher stakes for the other 2 games. So they should be a bit more exciting and a bit less one-sided. So I'm hoping that that's going to be the scenario. But the second game is due to start at 9:15 Central Eastern Time, or 8:15 Greenwich Mean Time, which is of course the UK time, if that's where you're tuning in from. So that will be due to start then. And that is pretty much it. So it'll be half an hour before the next game, so I can only apologise for the big delay between that, but we will be kicking off back here at 9:15. If we are able to pull it forward, well, I'm doubtful that we will be, just purely because of the players obviously have those are pre-arranged times in which they actually start on, so that it's very likely that they can start it a bit earlier. However, the stream will still remain up. You can still chat away in the chat if you wish to do so. But if you are going to be leaving the stream, just make sure obviously you're coming back for 8:15, and then we can continue on with the groups for tonight. If you're wanting something to do in the meantime, the blog post for R6 Esports has just posted, so that gives us all an update as what's happening with esports this year. So in terms of T2, T3, whatnot. So I would recommend flying in and have a look at that if you're looking for a pastime. But 30 minutes before the next match, and we will see you at 9:15. So until then, have fun.